Hey, Glory Carriers, it's Brittany Jones, and it is good to see you. First of all, I've got to say thank you for those of you who came to the first Glory Carriers Masterclass. I mean, my mind was blown. I said, Lord, if we have 20 people that show up, like, I've done something. And you guys blew my mind. It was 59 of you that came and registered, and I've heard some great feedback. I mean, people are already asking about the next one, which, yes, I have started writing and started preparing for the next one. And I've had some ministers of music and directors that said, how can we get more help? So hence why I'm here today. I want to, on a weekly basis, come and give some encouragement, an encouraging word to ministers of music, worship leaders across the nation and across the world that really have the heart of a glory carrier. So today we're just literally going to talk about what we talked about at the masterclass a little bit. What is a glory carrier? Well, first of all, what is glory? It's the holiness, it's the splendor, it's the awesomeness of God, right? So if you're a glory carrier, in essence, with your life, with your actions, with your words, you want to make public, make known God's glory in everything that you do. So there are a few things you have to do. Oh yeah, no. Jesus paid it all, but there's some work that we have to do that requires a reasonable service. So what's the first thing? You have to commit to sitting at his feet and guarding against distractions. If you remember the story of Mary and Martha and Jesus come to town and he's really close to Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. He would oftentimes come to their home. And so Jesus is sitting and he is teaching, and the disciples, the men, are really gathered around Jesus listening. But Mary decides to sit as well. She decides to leave her sister, who's in the kitchen cooking. She decides to sit at Jesus' feet because she thinks he's going to say something important and she doesn't want to miss it. Now, Martha is actually doing what women do during this time. They serve. If anyone comes into town, you're supposed to prepare meals and give them the best that you have. And Martha looks at Jesus, not to her sister. She looks at Jesus and she says, don't you think she should be here serving with me? Jesus' response is a rebuke, but it's a soft one. He says, well, Martha, you're worried with many things, but Mary has chosen the better part. What I want to remind us, glory carriers, worship leaders, is that service is a part. We have to choose songs. We have to sing. We have to do rehearsals. But don't forget the better part. Mary decided to sit at Jesus' feet. So I ask you, how often are you sitting at his feet, studying his word, having devotion time, having time of prayer? And then do you guard against that time? Because the problem is not in the service, but it was in the heart of Martha. He doesn't want us to serve distracted or serve jealous or serve bitter. And how do we serve in a right way? Well, we sit at his feet so he can work on our heart and that we can serve better. The other thing, worship leaders, I want to remind us is that we are intercessors first, singers second. If you look in the Bible, in the Old Testament, in a Bible dictionary, it talks about what an intercessor is. And an intercessor is someone that is a repairer of the breach. Brittany, what are you talking about? I know. I'm getting there. A repairer of the breach. What happens? Old Testament prophets were used to, if there was a hole, a break, a crack in the wall, they would stand in that area so that when the enemy would see the wall, they wouldn't see the cracks. They would see a body that was standing there, and it would disguise that there was actually a hole there. Why are we intercessors? Why are we repairers of the breach? Because we have to stand in the gap for people. Sometimes folks, they don't even know they got holes in the wall. They don't know that they have holes in their soul. Our job is to help them in those areas, those cracks of life, by speaking and teaching and living the word of God. So how often are you praying for your pastor, your team, your musicians? How often do you just say, hey team, we're going to pray today throughout this day so that service can go well? Make sure that not only are you guarding against distractions and that you're sitting at his feet, but that you realize your role as an intercessor. Lastly, because I'm almost out your way, worship leaders, we have to remember to deny ourselves. We know that we are to present our bodies as living sacrifices. Romans 12:1 tells us. A sacrifice means that I have to give something up. Sacrifice means that I have to be willing to, as Jesus tells us, that we have to daily die to ourselves. What helps us with that? Fasting. Now, I know, listen, I know I might look little, but I likes to eat here, okay? And fasting, but we need it. Fasting helps us to incline our ear to God. I will tell you, no joke, that I appreciate when I fast with my church, but there's something different about when I weekly take some time to say, okay, Lord, here I am, send me. So even if you have to start wherever you got to start, maybe you're just saying, all right, 6 a.m. to noon, I'm fasting. I'm not going to do breakfast. Then maybe you say, okay, I'm not going to do breakfast and lunch. And then maybe you can get yourself to a 6 to 6. Worship leaders, deny yourself. Fast. Say no. I promise you it's going to incline your ear to his heart. I promise you you're going to get greater clarity. I promise you it's going to help you with self-control. But you got to be willing to guard against distractions, commit to sitting at his feet, be a repairer of the breach and an intercessor, and be willing to deny yourself. Glory carriers, I'm praying for you, and I want to leave you with this. God is able to do just what he said he would do. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. So don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you. He's able. I love you, glory carriers, and I will see you soon.